Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Garth Batu. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. I invite you all now to please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Children, if you'd like to, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sapper Kevin Alexander Hurst. Born in Narrandera in the Riverina region of southern New South Wales, Kevin Alexander Hurst was the son of Richard and Jessie Hurst. One of 7 children, 4 brothers and 3 sisters, his father was a veteran of the First World War who later served as a warrant officer stationed at the prisoner of war camp in Hay. His mother was in the Australian Women's Army Service. Red-headed like his mother, Kevin was known as Bricky from his school days. He milked the cows and collected firewood for his family each day before delivering goods for local storekeepers in Carrathool. He decided to enlist in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force in February 1945. As he was under 18 years old, he was turned away. Rather than be dissuaded, he walked around the block before returning and lying about his age. In May 1945, he was posted to the 1st Training Battalion, Royal Australian Engineers, at the large Australian Army training base at Kapooka. However, in the afternoon of the 21st of May 1945, tragedy struck. Crowded within a dugout during a routine demolition training exercise on the preparation of hand charges were 2 groups, one of 22 trainees and 2 instructors, and a smaller squad of 3 men and 1 instructor. Inside the dugout, 110 pounds of explosives were stored for the day's training exercise. In circumstances that remain unknown to this day, the explosives ignited. In the explosion, 24 men were killed instantly, 2 died of injuries shortly afterwards, and 2 more were severely injured. Hurst was one of those killed in the accident. A mass funeral was held for men in Wagga Wagga on the 24th of May. Thousands of people lined the route of the funeral parade. The 26 flag-draped coffins were carried on 4 army trucks. The cortege included over 100 military vehicles carrying members of the Army and Air Force. The dead were buried in the Wagga Wagga War Cemetery. Kevin Hurst's father attended the funeral, but his mother was so deeply affected by his death that she went into shock and had to be hospitalised. Hurst's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sapper Kevin Alexander Hurst, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.